Hey, so I got a question here. I got a question on our YouTube channel, and I was just trying to think of a good way to answer because it was more than I could really type in a reasonable way. So I decided to try this out for answering comments and questions. This is a Loom video, and it'll be hosted, and that way I can just post a link, and I think it'll work. So the question was from a fitness instructor who watched the Loopback Spotify um, YouTube video that I did on the Digitized Live channel. And they want to know how to hear their students, hear the music, not hear themselves coming back through the loopback channels, and also have the students hear the music clearly and hear them clearly. So there were kind of five different asks in that. And so I sat down and I made a configuration that works. And it's really a very simple one. And I've done a bit here to keep it as simple as possible. So I'm going to walk you through the setup. So first I'll walk you through all the different pieces of software so you know what you're seeing here on the screen. And then I'll walk you through how to build the actual loopback audio driver that I believe answers all of these needs for you using the least possible equipment I could come up with or you're most likely to have. So here on the left, this is the Zoom preferences, and you can see I have it set to the speaker being my AirPods here, and the microphone being something called Fitness Instructor 01. That is this loopback device here. The window here, this is a Zoom meeting that's open. There's no one in it but me, as you can see, and I have it muted and I have the video off, and we'll leave that way probably for the duration. Down here we have Spotify, and I just have a relaxing piano playlist. Not exactly the best Zumba fitness or fitness class music, probably, unless you're doing a warm down, maybe. But in this case, it'll suit our needs just fine without ending up with things that maybe I shouldn't broadcast. So here you go. And then on the right, you have Loopback, which is the software that I use to create these types of setups to give you a lot more flexibility for audio routing. So we're going to recreate this setup. This setup works. I tested it here at home and it works just fine. So I'm going to recreate this for you so you see how to make it happen. Okay, so first thing, new virtual device, and we're going to call this one Fitness Instructor Test. I like to use dashes instead of spaces. That's just stylistic. Do that if you like. It's totally up to you. And then we do not need this device here. This thing is called a pass-through device. And we don't need it. So I'm going to highlight it, and then I'm going to delete it. Okay, so now we have a clean palette with which to build on. So the first things first, I've found when building loopback audio devices that I want to make sure my audio cables route nicely and they don't all cross all over the place. So personally, I choose to do my microphones first. And in this case, we're going to be using my AirPod Pro, which I'm doing right now, using the AirPod Pro as the microphone for the audio driver. So that's first, and you can see the monitor moving as I talk. That makes sense, and it is on. The next thing we want to do is we want to add, I like to add next the music source. So in our case here, it's going to be Spotify, and there it is, and we'll test that it's working by playing some music. And it looks great, and you can prove that because the monitor's moving. So we'll stop that for now. And then the third thing we want to add is Zoom. Why? Because we want, if someone on the Zoom call talks to us, they scream out for help when they fall down, or you're making them stretch too much, or they're tired, whatever it might be. We need to add Zoom. So it's a running application. I got it running before I started this video and add it here. And we can test that that's making noise and that simulate a person talking by pushing this test speaker button. So there it goes, okay? And then the last thing you'll need to do is pick your appropriate loopback audio device, which would be called Fitness Instructor Test. It's not showing up there because I need to stop and reopen the Zoom preferences because of the order in which I did things. So you would go here and choose Fitness Instructor Test, and that's great. So we've basically built almost everything we need, but we need to make a few changes. In order to hear what's going on from Zoom, we're going to be able to need to listen to that in the monitor. And that's just like the speakers that are in your room. And in this case, I'm going to use, again, the AirPod Pros for that. And we need, when we first create it's attached to these channels. We don't want that. So we're going to delete this. Doing this is creating something called a mix minus. So by highlighting those and deleting them, we've set up mix minus. And we're also going to need channels 3 and 4. What for? We don't actually want all three of these going into the same, because then when I delete the mix minus, I can't hear the music anymore, or I can't hear the Zoom attendees. So I'm actually going to delete all of these audio cables, and we're going to reroute them through these additional channels. This is kind of a secret sauce, if you ask me. The two big things are having two pairs of channels and deleting the audio cables between channels 1 and 2 and the monitor. And we will bring back the audio cables here from the channel 3, 4, which now includes Spotify and Zoom, into the monitor. That means when someone talks here, and again, we'll simulate that, I hear it here. This is good. I'm emulating the fitness instructor here. Funny. So, and then when I play music, which I will do now, I hear it here. And most importantly, you'll notice over here, because we've chosen fitness instructor test, they hear it. Now that music may be too loud, so we're going to turn it. I usually start with 50%, and I've got my microphone here at 100. So at this point, generally the folks listening in on the Zoom call and participating in your class, they're going to hear your voice pretty loud and pretty clear, and they're going to hear the music loud enough and very clear. And this is really the whole point to this, is to have a very, very easy, nice, simple setup with the minimum things and no weird delays between the music and the speech and the for you or for the students in your class. And that's it. At that point, you're completely online with this audio driver, and you should be able to run your class really beautifully with happy students who can hear you can hear them, you can all hear the music at an appropriate level, and not have any weird delays. So that's how you do it. That is a 4-channel mix minus loopback controlled fitness class audio studio on a MacBook, on a Mac. So I hope that helps, and it definitely answers the question. Let me know if it works out for you. I'm always curious to hear. And if this does work out nice for you, then what I should probably do is another full YouTube video instead of just this. Actually, maybe I'll just upload this to YouTube as it is, because I just don't really want to make it again. So that'll work for now. And have a great